Dorothy slowly opened her eyes, wincing at the pain throbbing in her temples. She had no recollection of where she had just been, but telltale leaves, cold air, and earth beneath her back indicated that she was lying on the ground, outside. As she struggled to sit up, her vision adjusted to see the surrounding bare, twisting trees. A haze weaved about, giving the forest a voluminous, silvery shimmer. Where am I? When her eyes turned upward, she jolted at the sight of the giant pale moon hovering just above the trees and casting a dull gray glow. Various craters and deep canyons on the orb's surface were visible. Dorothy was mesmerized. She'd read a few science articles that presented different theories regarding the moon's surface, along with possibilities for future travels, but seeing it this close was an experience she wished her friends, particularly Reginald and Gale, were present for. Reginald and Gale. She slowly started regaining the memory of the events from that evening, recalling a fainting spell in the plain cemetery before becoming detached from her body and being surrounded by stars. Dorothy rose to standing and searched for any clues to her whereabouts. Memory of being in a dark washroom with Gale seeped in, followed by other happenings from the Fleming property. The fog's density seemed to thicken, and a sudden urgency to get away pulsed inside her blood. From behind, footsteps approached, crunching over the dry leaves on the ground. Dorothy slowly turned and let out a gasp when she saw a small boy standing in front of her. He appeared about 12 years of age, the same age Nathaniel Fleming was when he died. He wore simple dark trousers and a shirt. The clothes were ragged and suggested a century prior to the one Dorothy lived in. His hair was black, slightly long and moppy. His darker skin tone and features also suggested a heritage one might associate with a gypsy, like Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights. Dorothy felt her stomach drop. This young boy strongly resembled the image she always formed of a young Heathcliff any time she read the book. The two studied one another as the fog continued to flow and dance about. "Are you lost?" she asked, flinching at the shallow, tin sound of her voice. The boy stared at her as if attempting to comprehend her words. He lowered his eyes and shrugged. She tried again. "Where are your parents?" The boy turned his gaze back up to her, and a lone tear escaped down the side of his face. As the body shook with silent sobs, she knelt down and gently took the child by the shoulders. His distress and hopelessness was felt throughout her being. Without another thought, she folded the boy into a comforting embrace, which the child allowed. "My brother," he finally said. "What, sweetheart?" She pulled away and gazed at his tear-stained face. The boy sniffed and slowly looked around. "I can't find my brother." His language seemed a cross between Eastern Europe and Arabic, a language Dorothy would not normally understand but seemed to perfectly hear. "Do you want me to help you find him?" she asked, and immediately felt silly for doing so. "Don't even know who his brother is or the child's name or where we are." The little boy appeared puzzled before his gaze shifted over her shoulder. She turned her head and stopped short upon seeing a dark figure outlined in the fog only a few feet away. Despite her growing dread, she rose and attempted a closer look. The figure appeared to be a woman wearing a long, dark dress with a black hooded cloak to cover her face. "She found you," the boy whispered.